Okay. So first, I would like to this one. I would like to share my screen with this informed consent. In this informed consent, I explain that my purpose is to collect data about different stories on the notion of sustainability from social movements perspectives. So I would like to collect data from indigenous movements in Canada, indigenous movements in Colombia, indigenous movements in Mongolia, some Black communities in Africa, and some civil movements in the Netherlands and in Australia. And the project is to develop a story map for presenting those stories about the notion of sustainability in order to broaden the understanding of this category of sustainability. Yeah, the name of this project is broadening the notion of sustainability, a story map. And for that reason, I would like to request your permission in order to share your knowledge, your contributions about the notion of sustainability from indigenous communities in Canada. I don't know if you agree with sharing your knowledge in this story map.
I just wanted to say one thing. I work with the indigenous peoples in Canada as well as in other places, but I am not an indigenous person myself.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
To say that. So whatever that I tell you is what my understanding is from the indigenous peoples. So I will actually use probably specific nations.
Oh, yeah.
When I say that. So that's from my understanding of that. So
yeah.
That is important to, I want to highlight that first.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I agree with that. And are you agree with sharing your knowledge about indigenous communities from Canada in this story map?
Sure. I also, I wanted to know what, can I ask what do you intend to use this for?
Oh, yeah, of course. This is an assignment for the course Anthropology 507, Theory in Sociocultural Anthropology at Purdue University. So this is part of an assignment for this course, and I will develop a story map using this program, ArcGIS, and I would like to collect data in order to develop this story map for this course, the final assignment of this course.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So I agree to that. What I would like after you've done that is, since you're talking to the other people, I'd like to see the story map.
Of course.
Share that. That'll be quite interesting.
Yeah, of course, I will share the link of the story map with all the interviewees. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so sorry. First, sorry, I changed. Oh, sorry. I close this here. Okay. So, these are the questions I have. Okay. So first, Dr. Grisfan, I would like to ask you a general background about you. I would like to know about your okay, profession, main activities, and the community engagement. In your case, about the community you have interacted with, or the community with you work in your research processes.
Yeah, I'm Grace Fan. I'm a professor here at University of British Columbia, Okanagan campus. My primary research is in the field of inequity and sustainability involving indigenous peoples, both in Canada and worldwide. So that's my mainly research area. Community, all the research involving indigenous peoples are done at a community level. That's how how it works. Otherwise, it would not. The research would not happen.
Okay, yeah. You have worked with some community in a specific community, or do you work with several communities, indigenous communities, at the same time in Canada?
Okay, I have worked. Over here, I live in the unceded ancestral territory of the Syilx people. So I am embedded in this community, so I have worked with them for a long, long time. I've known them for a long, long time, mainly involving water, which is their focus. Environment sustainability in terms of protecting water.
Okay.
Yeah, that focus comes from the community because that's their focus. So that's how my research does that.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so we can move on to some questions specifically about sustainability and sustainability transitions. What does sustainability mean in the indigenous community?
In the Syilx community here that's called the Syilx is the Syilx word for Okanagan, the community here. Sustainability, environmental sustainability means the thriving of all life forms, whether it be humans, non-humans, plant, animals, land, rock, blah, blah. So it's about the regeneration ability of all life forms within the constraint of nature.
Okay, thank you very much. And does your community have or use the concept of sustainability, or do they have and use other notions, words, concepts for referring to this phenomenon of sustainability?
They do use the word sustainability. Yes, they do, but it's talking about the thriving of all life forms. It's not like in the Western concept. It's very different.
Okay, so they speak about sustainability, but the meaning is different from the Western's perspectives about sustainability.
That's right.
Okay, yeah, of course. Is your community reimagining the social tissues to boost transitions towards sustainability? If so, may you share with us some meaningful and impactful ideas of their reimaginations?
I don't understand the question.
Okay, no problem. Is the community trying to transform the social tissues where they live, for example, the institutions, or they try to reimagine new kind of social tissues, new kind of institutions, new kind of social relationships in order to boost sustainability?
Well, the thing is, when you define sustainability in terms of thriving of all life forms, so this is something the community does on a daily basis. So it's like their way of life. they are trying to, let me just think what the word would be, is they wanted to strive for environmental sustainability in their own way, in the sense of which is honoring indigenous worldviews, honoring the Silk worldview, which is deeply relational. It's everything is interrelated, interconnected, interdependent. So that's what they are trying to do. An example of that would be when the Silk people, they greet each other, the first thing they ask is, how is the land? Then they ask, how are the waters? How are the animals? How are the plants, etc., etc. The last thing they ask is, how are you as a person?
Okay.
Now, you all know in the Western culture, what we just did was we asked, how are you? We didn't ask, how is the land, how are the waters, blah, blah. So that's an example of that. I wouldn't say they are designing or dreaming or the social tissues and blah, blah. They are just trying to convey that to the non-Indigenous community, because they understand, what's the word? They live with the non-Indigenous community people. They have to, in order to achieve the striving for environment, they need all of us to work together, because we all live on this land.
Yeah.
So we are trying to convey that message to non-Indigenous peoples. That's what they're trying to.
Okay, so they develop some bargaining process with others in order to convey their worldviews about sustainability and try to keep the balance in the territory.
Can you ask that question again? Sorry.
No problem. They try to bargain with others outside the indigenous community in order bargain their ideas about sustainability in order to try to keep the balance in their territory.
I don't think they bargain. They just whenever they had the opportunity to present their ideas, they do. But as the community, they are united that they need to take the leadership to do that, and they want to bring other people along. That's what because they couldn't. I don't think they've decided it's what they want to do. They couldn't wait. They don't want to wait for the others to do that. They know that unless they take the leadership to do it, nobody else is going to do that. So that's what they did.
Okay, thank you very much. And have they created or built a specific, for example, institutions, organizations, rules, or other kind of grassroots innovations in order to convey and materialize their ideas about sustainability?
They didn't create institutions, no. They do publish, they publish, like in terms of water, they publish their water declaration. They developed a living TEK, traditional ecological knowledge methodology. They developed that, and they developed their own vision statement. So that's the thing that they developed within the community, and they shared it with the wider community.
Okay. Yeah. So they act in the educative field. Yeah, they harness education in order to promote sustainability. That is their main field, education.
No, they also do projects. They also do actual projects. Yeah.
Okay.
The projects are shared. They worked with other partners. Of course, they don't have enough in-house expertise themselves just to do that. So on that, they do projects as well.
Okay, they do projects. And may
Yeah.
you
There are very
share?
specific projects like protecting this watershed, restoring that wetland and things like that. There are many different projects ongoing.
Okay, okay, understand. Okay. In your opinion, what are the main achievements and the main challenges this community have in order to defend their idea of sustainability?
I think the fact that they have developed all these things, the community, they've developed this water declaration, this living PK methodology, and their vision statement, and it's ongoing. They've created, actually, when you say grassroots, they've recently, it was quite a recent development, they created a water caucus among their own communities. The Syilx Nation has 8 different communities. I should have said that earlier. So they have created this caucus, water caucus, they call it, across. So they have people from across the community join in this caucus to talk about the water issues. One thing is distinct about the Syilx Nations is they tend to do these among themselves first.
Mm-hmm.
Then they present this. In the meantime, they also work on the projects. The projects does involve non-Indigenous people, but in terms of developing these things, what I just talked about, it was developed among their own people.
Mm-hmm.
I say that because there's another nation that I know of. They have not, that's not what they did. So everything in the other community, they all developed together. I.e. their own people and non-Indigenous people, they worked hand in hand. Now this is quite unique to the Syilx, the nation here. They just did it among themselves.
Okay, okay. And what do you consider is or are the main challenges they have in order to work around sustainability?
The challenge they have is to get in their own view, is to get the government to change the policy.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't trust the government. So that's the big challenge.
Yeah.
So that's why they are doing it all themselves. That was the primary reason for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that happens in different communities because, as you know, I am working with indigenous communities in Colombia, and the situation is the same. When you ask them about their challenges, the first challenge is to defy and I don't know and change the government ideas or perspectives. is very common, I would say. Yeah. Okay. So we have here the final questions, other general issues related to sustainability and sustainability transitions. Okay, so I think this question is very related to a previous one. Maybe I can highlight this point of rules. I don't know if the community have defined some social rules in order to work around sustainability.
Their water declaration, that's their principle. They don't call it rules, they call it guiding principles. So it's
Okay.
in that. It's contained in that, in their water deck, in the sense that they treat water as a king, as a relative, not as a resource. And so all of that's they call it guiding principles. I wouldn't call it rules, and I would
Okay.
change that, because that's came from the community. So it's all contained. I viewed it as the guiding principle of more than sustainable. It's how they are behaving as human beings, so to speak.
Okay. And from your understanding of this community, what is the difference, or what would be the difference between rules and guiding principles?
Guiding principle, they call it's like something they carry inside themselves.
Mhm.
The reason I don't say rule, I recommend you not to say the rules, is because that's not the word they use. So I wouldn't use that word.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. And do you consider that people in the indigenous communities accomplish or follow these guiding principles, or each individual try to transform and play with these guiding principles according to he or her own interest?
That's a bit difficult for me to generalize, but I think that's what at least that's from my understanding, that's how they all adhere to these principles, because that's how they were brought up, so to speak.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. What is the role of women in these attempts to achieve sustainability in the community?
Women and youth play an important role, especially I'm talking about just actually about water sustainability, but it's, but they are using water as an angle to talk about environment. So they play a big role in that, yes.
Okay. And may you tell us about some examples of this role of women?
I don't have, for that, I don't have a specific example. I do know that they set up special workshops to include the voice of women.
Okay.
So they are
Okay.
big community workshops, but they also have specific ones inviting just women. But
Okay.
I wasn't. I was told that's what happened, and I know that's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think you answered this question already, but maybe if you want to add something more, what is the role of non-human beings, animals, plants, rivers, and so forth in these attempts to achieve sustainability?
It's part of it.
Mhm.
They are the humans. Humans are part of the nature, so to speak.
Mhm.
Humans are not superior to animals, plants, rivers, and blah blah. That's the important thing about not just the Silk people, but I think indigenous people in general, worldwide.
Yeah, of course. And finally, what is the role of economic processes in these attempts to achieve sustainability in the indigenous community? Do the economy help? Does the economy help spur or block sustainability endeavors?
They don't like the dominant economic view. No, they don't. For instance, they just said, for example, they understand the challenges. One of the things which they said, because the Okanagan is famous for its lake, the pristine lake. That's why the water is important. For instance, they said they would like, if ideally, they would like to stop all boating activity, tourism in boating, because they are big polluter to water. But they recognize it's not possible because, for very obvious reasons. So it would not be possible. But so their word is it should not be just about economic growth. So there is a contradiction in that.
Yeah, of course. And so they try to question the dominant economy, capitalist economy, and have they developed some economic alternatives to meet or to satisfy necessities or human needs?
That I don't know. I know that most indigenous nations, they would do some sort of, it's like eco-tourism and things like that. It's really in its infancy. They are, the Silk Nation, they are quite big on that economic development. Yes, they are. But I don't have the knowledge on that. I can't answer these questions. That I have not asked about it.
Okay.
I do know they are keen to develop indigenous led enterprises. I know that they are keen to do that, but that is mostly done by the different communities. I don't know all the details. No.
Okay. Okay. So they work with the concept of indigenous enterprises. Yeah.
They wanted to go down that. It's mostly like community based, but they do have their own economic development people do that, work in the region and things like that. But I don't have the knowledge. I can't answer that question.
Of course. Thank you. No problem. So no, it's great. I think we have covered all the questions, and great opportunity to learn about indigenous communities in Canada and about their notion of sustainability. So as I told you, I want to collect data from other indigenous communities and social movements in Colombia, Mongolia, the Netherlands, Australia, and Africa in order to broaden this notion about sustainability. I will share the outcomes of this project with you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, dear Dr. Grispan.
Okay.
Okay, so where may I to